again, grade 9. This is the section about carbon-based molecules. We said that carbon-based molecules are foundation of life, and carbon is called the building block of life. Why? Because carbon atoms are the basis of most molecules that make up living things. What are these base molecules? They are called carbon-based molecules, okay, which are carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. What is unique about carbon atoms is that carbon atoms have 4 electrons in the outermost energy level, and this gives carbon atom a property of making 4 covalent bonds with other atoms. Now carbon atoms or carbon-based molecules have 3 general types of structures: straight, branched, or ring. Okay, and these carbon based molecules are polymers, and each one is made of specific monomers. Let's start with the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are made of atoms carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay, and you can see this is one monomer of a carbohydrate, which is the glucose. It has 6 carbons, 12 hydrogen, and 6 oxygen. It can be ring shaped. Now carbon, there are sometimes it happen as monosaccharide like glucose. This glucose is made by plant cells. Fructose, which found in fruits, and galactose, which found in milk. Okay, and these are soluble in water. And some carbohydrates form as disaccharides. They consist of 2 monosaccharides joined together, like sucrose, low table sugar that you eat, maltose, and lactose. Now, and the last one is the polysaccharides, like starches in the plant, cellulose in the plant cell wall, and they are insoluble in water and don't have sweet taste. Okay, so in carbohydrates, this is a polymer. This is a polymer of starch. Each subunit of the polymer is a monomer. Now cellulose is different. Cellulose is different in its structure because and this structure make it more rigid than the starch, and this it will be not digested easily. It cannot be digested in our bodies. We don't have the enzymes that specific to digest this kind of glucose or of carbohydrate. Now lipids, like carbohydrates, they are made of atoms of oxygen, hydrogen, and carbon. Okay, they contain chains of carbon atoms bonded together. The first type of lipid is the triglyceride. We said that triglyceride are type of lipid that made of monomers اللي هم fatty acids and glycerol. Triglycerides found as fats or oils. Fats are found in animals, and oils by plant sources. Okay. Now we said that lipids have different functions, like they broken down as source of energy. They make up cell membrane, and they used to make hormones. Now triglyceride هم the main type of lipids that give us a source of energy. The type of lipids that give or make up the cell membrane هو الفوسفولipid. Let's talk about the phospholipid now. Phospholipid make up all cell membranes, and it has 2 parts. It has head and tail. Head is polar, so it can dissolve in water, while tail is non-polar, which it cannot dissolve in water. And as we learned before, that this is the cell membrane. Can you see here? These are the phospholipids part, the head and the tail, the head and the tail. The head is facing the watery part outside the cell, and the tail facing برضو هون الهيد facing inside the cell الwatery part, but the tail facing each other inside the membrane. All right. Okay, we said fatty acids, I forgot to tell you about this point, sorry. Fatty acids, some of them are saturated and some have unsaturated. Saturated have single bonds between the carbons, as you see here, and the unsaturated, they have double bonds in the carbons. And the unsaturated fats means that they are not saturated with hydrogen atoms. Saturated fats are saturated with hydrogen atoms. Can you see here? They have more hydrogen atoms than saturated. Look, this one has less. Look, H2, H2. Here you have H, H2. Less hydrogen. Okay? Cholesterol is a lipid that has a ring structure. Okay? And the main function you have to know, cholesterol is used in making some hormones in our body. Now, proteins are polymers of amino acids. We have 20 different amino acids used to build proteins in organisms. The amino acids made of hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. So this is the difference between a protein and other carbon-based molecules. They have nitrogen extra, okay? And some proteins, they have sulfur. We have 20 amino acids. Now these 20 amino acids, they are different in the R group, okay? Your body can make 12 of the amino acids, and the other come from the food you eat. Now we should know that the amino acids, the monomers, they join together by a bond called peptide bond. Okay? Now, one type of proteins that transport the oxygen in our blood is the hemoglobin. Proteins can come as straight or one peptide chain, double peptide chain, or can come like as a quaternary structure, yani 4 peptide chains that fold over each other. Okay? And the last thing we're coming to is the nucleic acids. Nucleic acid is the fourth type of carbon-based molecule, and they are the polymer. Monomers are called nucleotides. If you come closer, each nucleotide is composed of phosphate group, deoxyribose sugar, and nitrogen-containing base. هذا النيوكليوتايد. As you see here. We have 2 types of nucleic acids, RNA and DNA. DNA stores genetic information, genetic material, while RNA builds a protein. Check this and see the questions in page 46. Answers are ready, written for you, the model answers. Okay?